numbers, and to be honest with you, from a
It's going to be on. Okay. You know, this is
another really good single entry here on Colin Drive. A gilt from the side has tall frontage, she's extended. A gilt is still very feminine. A gilt is presented extremely well. A gilt is just really fresh and youthful in her overall appearance. A gilt that's sound and functional on her feet and legs. So congratulations to this young lady as well.
Result in Class 303, first place Hannah Brent with an A rating, and she is a member of the Bushville Busy Bees 4-H Club. We are now ready to pick our champion January purebred gilt. We're going to bring our first place entries, Carter Pogue, McLean Dell, and Hannah Brent back in, please. Our trophy sponsor for the January 4-H Purebred Gilt is sponsored by Smith & Smith Enterprise Incorporated and S&S Shortstop.
Let's put our hands together and congratulate these January gilt exhibitors. I think we've got 3 purebred gilts out here that represent their breeds extremely well. I think they're 3 gilts that offers a tremendous amount of quality. I think they're gilts that are very similar, and I think they're gilts that have some differences. And I guess for me, there's one out here that probably just puts together the most of the best in terms of being one that's really big-ribbed and wide-chested and square coming and going off both ends, and a gilt that's got a tremendous amount of mass and body and still puts that in a functional feminine package. The Duroc gilt's going to be your champion. I think when we get out here for reserve, we've got a pair of gilts that I think again are similar in terms of type and kind, and both a pair of gilts that maybe I'd like to fix in a place or two, particularly from their hock to ground. I think they're a pair of gilts that maybe just get a little bit more rigid in terms of their stride, but I think there's one that maybe has kind of stayed the course as the drive has went on, and one that maybe has gotten a little bit more cantankerous as the drive goes, and maybe wants to fight that rear leg a little bit more than the other gilt. And I guess that's what sorts it for me. The Yorkshire gilt's going to be reserved.
Our champion purebred January gilt went to McLean Excel with the Blandesville blue ribbons and her Duroc gilt. Reserve went to Carter Hogue with his York gilt, and he is in the Scotland Clever Clovers 4-H Club. We are now ready for Class 304, our February purebred York gilt, Hayden Brent and Peyton McGrew. Our February 4-H purebred gilt trophy sponsor this year is Western Grain Marketing. If there's anybody here that represents them, would like to hand out the trophy, we'd love to have them come do that.
Well, again, another really high-quality pair of gilts here in our first February division, a pair of Yorkshire gilts here. I think that, again, offer a lot of similarities in terms of being extremely high-quality gilts. For me, I think there's a gilt that maybe just is a little bit more ready today. She's a gilt that maybe just composes herself a little bit better today than the other gilt, and that being the young man's gilt here directly in front of me. I think that gilt proportions extremely well. She's a gilt that is really feminine. She's a deep-bodied, big ribs kind of a gilt that's sound and flexible off of both ends of her skeleton. Just a really fault-free kind of gilt to go ahead and start with. The young lady's gilt here in second is a gilt that maybe later in the summer might be able to get around this other gilt. Maybe a gilt that reads with just a little bit more structure in terms of her rear leg compared to our class winner. A gilt that might be just a little bit more refined about her underline as well. But to me, a gilt is just a little greener today, a little bit more mature in terms of her makeup, but certainly a high quality gilt to go second today.
Results of Class 304 are purebred February York gilt. First place with an A rating, Peyton Brent. Second place with an A rating, Peyton McGrew. Peyton is a member of the Bushnell's Busy Bees, and Peyton is a member of the Gold Diggers. We are now ready for Class 305, February purebred landrace gilt of Hannah Brent. We'd like to also announce that the Computer Financial would like to invite the 4-Hers and their families out to the fair tonight from 5 to 7 for a complimentary supper before the premium auction. The meal will be sponsored by Computer and provided by Julie Hood, owner of Squeeze to Please. Julie will have the meal ready. Just let her know you are part of the 4-H family, and she'll serve you up.
one other really good single entry here in our landrace division. A gilt that to me is one that is really big chested. She's wide and square. She comes and goes. Maybe the longer the drive goes on, she's wanting to maybe favor her shoulder just a little bit, but gilt that certainly has some capacity, has some volume. A gilt that's really fresh and youthful about her appearance as well.
Results of Class 305, Hannah Brent, first place with an A rating, and she is a member of the Bushnell Busy Bees. We are now ready to pick our champion February purebred gilt. Out of Class 304 will be Hayden Brent. Out of Class 305 will be Hannah Brent. Our February 4-H purebred gilt trophy is sponsored by Western Grain Marketing.
I'm here for our champion February gilt, a pair of gilts that offer some extras in terms of having some added dimension and some rib shape and depth of body and curvature to the rib. And I think that's important where we're at today in this industry in terms of making females that have the ability to go home and function in the farrowing house. And I think these are a pair of gilts that certainly have that right to go home at the end of the summer and get bred and have a litter of pigs, because I think they're that caliber of females. And between the two, I think there's one that's just a little bit more comfortable in terms of her build. I like the Yorkshire gilt to be the champion today.
Our champion February purebred York gilt went to Hayden Brent. He is a member of the Bushnell Busy Bees.
Or on the opposite end of the spectrums of one another. One obviously has a little bit more rib and body and dimension than the other gilt. Another gilt that, to me reads a little greener in her overall makeup, but a gilt that balances and functions extremely well. A gilt that's extremely basic in her build, and that's what beats our other gilt today. She's going to be a reserve champion.
Our reserve champion February purebred gilt went to Peyton McGrew with her York. She is a member of the Gold Diggers 4-H Club. We're now going to pick our grand champion purebred gilt. In the ring, we will have McLean Ginell with her Duroc and Hayden Brent with his York. facility made for the Grand Champion 4-H Purebred Gilt is sponsored by Western Grain Marketing.
Well, again, here in our purebred gilt division, not a lot of entries, but the quality was certainly good. And I think we've got a pair of gilts out here that are very similar in terms of the way they're put together. They're gilts that offers some extras in terms of having some width of skeleton and having some dimension, some added body and some flesh. And gilts that still combine that with being functional gilts, gilts that are really comfortable in terms of the way they're built and just gilts that are sound and functional. And I think that's important. And I think it's extremely hard in this business today to make parts that are basic. And I say that term in a positive manner because I think that, that's where we need to be in terms of making good females, that they need to be basic. And I think there's one out here that is extremely basic and still puts a lot of extras back on that skeleton. The Duroc's going to be the champion.
Our Grand Champion Purebred Gilt goes to McLean and Dell with the Duroc, the January Duroc, and she is a member of the Lensville Blue Ribbon.
Well, what we got here for reserve champion purebred gilt, again, we've got two Yorkshire gilts that to me are on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of the way they're put together. I think we've got a gilt out here that is maybe just a little bit more heavy duty in terms of the skeleton. She's got a little bit bigger forearm, a little bit more bone and feature. A gilt that to me maybe gets a little shorter out of her hip, a little bit more restricted and rigid out of her hock than our other gilt. The February gilt to me is one that just leaves with a little bit more comfort all the way through. Gilt that's a little longer on her hip, takes a little better, more comfortable step from behind. She's going to be a reserve champion.
Our reserve Grand Champion Purebred Gilt goes to Hayden Brent with his February York. He is a member of the Bushnell Busy Bees. We are now ready to start our Crossbred Gilt Show, Class 306, McLean and Nell. Her gilt weighs 197 pounds.
here in our first class of crossbred gilts. Young lady's gilt, I think weighs about 197 pounds, and to me, I think looks like a 197-pound gilt should look. She's up on the side, she's got some extension and some femininity up front, still beautiful in her overall appearance, and at the same time combines that youthfulness with some added features just in terms of having some extra density in terms of her bone work. A gilt that still balances up extremely well, sound off both ends of her skeleton. Congrats to her.
First place in an A rating goes to Kelly Dindell with the Glenville Blue Ribbons 4-H Club, and she will also be your lightweight champion crossbred gilt trophy donated by Smith & Smith Enterprise and S&S Shortstop. Class 307 is in the ring. Crossbred gilts with McLean and Nell with one entry and her gilt weighing 219 pounds.
This young lady drives another really good gilt here in the second class, a gilt that, to me just is a little bit more overwhelming in terms of what she has to offer than that gilt in the first class. A gilt that just is tremendous in terms of her density, in terms of how much bone and feature she has, and a gilt that still combines that with some natural dimension there through the center portion of her body. A gilt that's still feminine, got an attractive look up through that front end. Just a really high quality gilt to win this particular division. Congrats to her.
Results of this class: first place in an A rating to McLean Zell, a member of the Glenville Blue Ribbons, and she is also our middleweight 4-H crossbred gilt champion. Our trophy is donated by McDonough Power Cooperative. We are now ready for class 308, crossbred gilt. Peyton McGrew with one entry, weighing 231 pounds.
This young lady drives a really feminine, high-quality female here in our heavyweight division. I think of all the crossbred gilts we've seen today, this one's probably the most feminine in terms of her look and the way she's put together. Just a gilt that's really refined there through her head and neck carriage, a gilt that's really got a high-quality, refined underline about her, a gilt that, to me, is just really feminine and balances extremely well. A gilt that's just really hard to poke a hole in.
Results of our class 308, first place in an A rating to Peyton McGrew. She is a member of the 4-H Club Gold Diggers. We are now ready for class 309, crossbred gilt Kinley Bess, with her gilt weighing 248 pounds.
as we conclude our crossbred drive here, I think we've got a gilt that resembles the gilt that is the previous class in terms of type and kind, a gilt that is really fresh, a gilt that's really youthful in her appearance, a gilt that just balances up extremely well from the side, a gilt that is really feminine, a gilt that is just really complete and put together extremely well. Congratulations to her.
Results of Class 309, Kinley Hess, the member of the Czech Row Volunteers, with the first place.
As we bring our pair of heavyweights back out here for champion heavyweight honors, again, as I talked in classes, a pair of gilts that offer a lot of similarities. Gilts that are feminine, they're extended, and they're elevated, and I think those are all positive attributes about those gilts. And within that pair, I think there's one gilt that, to me, when you get on top of her, she just has got more spread shape up top. I think she maintains that advantage through the center portion of her body in terms of having more turn and shape there to the center portion of her rib. And I think, to me, when you get behind her and watch her just get out and go, she's one that strides with a little bit more flex and ease off of that rear two. To me, I think that's the separating part. The fact of the pair of gilts here, the belted gilt's going to be your champion heavyweight.
Your champion heavyweight crossbred gilt goes to Peyton McGrew. She is a member of the Gold Diggers 4-H Club. And reserve in the junior show is Finley Hess. And she is a member of the Czech Row Volunteers. The heavyweight crossbred gilt trophy was donated by United Community Bank. We are now ready for our Grand Champion Crossbred Gilt. In the ring, we will have McLean and Nell with lightweight gilt, McLean and Nell with their mediumweight gilt, and Peyton McGrew with their heavyweight gilt. once we have our grand champion picked here at Gilt, then we're going to have the purebred champion go against the crossbred champion to determine who will represent McDonough County at the throwdown. And the throwdown, the Western Illinois Showdown, it will be held Saturday, August 7th, 2021. It will start at 5 p.m., held at the Knox County Fairgrounds. This throwdown is 4-H grand champions from 12 Western Illinois counties that are invited to come to the throwdown to compete for the biggest banner in Western Illinois.
Let's put our hands together one more time and congratulate these crossbred gelding breeders. Again, it's not the first time I've mentioned it today. Not a lot of numbers, obviously, but again, the quality is really good, and there's a lot of differences in these gilts. And I think they're gilts that are different, but at the same point in time are very similar in terms of gilts that have a lot of function and gilts that I think have the ability to go home and do what they're supposed to do and be females. And I think that when you just get out here and start to pick them apart and start to weigh the positives and negatives, to me there's one out here that just, she's got the most of everything. She's the heaviest bone, heaviest skeleton gilt. It's still sound and functional. A gilt that's got a really good hip and hind leg. This gilt right here is going to be your champion.
Okay.
Here for reserve, again, a gilt that I really like this gilt in terms of just the femininity that she possesses. A gilt that's really a notch bigger in terms of her kind, a notch more extended in terms of her skeleton, and I think that's an extremely positive attribute to that gilt. A gilt that to me, I thought just gave up a little too much in terms of having some extra feature in relation to our class winner. This velvet gilt's going to be reserved.
Our grand champion crossbred gilt goes to Clancy Nell with her medium weight gilt weighing 219 pounds. Reserve goes to Peyton McGrew, with her gilt being out of the heavyweight class weighing 231 pounds. We are now ready for our purebred champion to show up against our crossbred champion.
I think so.
Our purebred champion, McLean Nels Durock, will come back and show against her medium weight crossbred champion. The show off of champions will be the one that will go and represent McDonough County at the throwdown.
This is a reminder to the exhibitors. After this selection, I ask the exhibitors to come to the show ring. All swine exhibitors. Hogs can go back to the barn and get ready for the barrow show. But I want the exhibitors to come and introduce themselves before the crowd. Thank you.
Again, here at the end of our gilt show, we've got two really good gilts, and I guess from my standpoint, when I evaluate females, I evaluate them for what they are today, but I also have a tendency in my mind of trying to project out my mind of what they're going to look like at home and what they're going to do in terms of their ability to produce the next generation. And within that pair of gilts out here, I think that for me, there's one that's a notch bigger in her kind, a notch more extended in terms of her skeleton, a gilt that to me just reads with more elevation through her front end, a gilt that's extremely dense, a gilt that's extremely comfortable. The Duroc gilt's going to be the champion. Here for our reserve honors, and again, two really good gilts, and we bring that February Yorkshire gilt out here for reserve contention, and somewhat it's like comparing apples and oranges because you got two gilts that are a lot different in terms of extras, but I also understand we've got different breeds and different maturity patterns and things like that to deal with, but I guess for me there's one out here that's just she's really sound, she's really correct, and still got a lot of extras in terms of density. The crossbred gilt's going to be reserved.
The reserve will go to the Plains Bell with her crossbred gilt.
Just go, you can go back.
Because they help make the classes, put them together, and that gets our show on the road. Chris Lauderman is in charge of that, and she has Christina during the fair, but before the fair, they work with a lot of numbers over and over. And I thank Becky today for being here, handing out the awards. We need all of her input because she knows how the show runs. I also want to thank our people who help us in the ring. Troy Heaton in the orange here is our scale master, reads the scale. Not easy, not a wonderful scale. It was back in the 1920s that, it's only one time a year, so we get by just very fine. So we appreciate Troy. Keith Heaton is helping him, they're in the gray, and Josh Heaton in the orange is also here to help. And so they are working with the 4-H, helping us stay in line. All three of those men showed in that showing when they were in 4-H. And I think that's a nice tradition to keep up with our community. Our junior show superintendent is in the wash rack, Justin McGrew. And we thank him for everything that the Buildings and Grounds does. The MCLA is working with Buildings and Grounds, is responsible. This is a nice building, isn't it? Isn't it good to look in here and be able to see some light? They added the bleachers and the place to sit, and we needed that very badly. So, 4-H'ers, please come to the ring. 4-H'ers, please come to the ring. They are going to tell you their name. They have it written on their hand, so they'll be able to do that. How many years they've been in 4-H and what their 4-H club is.
Hey guys, can you go to that side so the camera can actually see you?
All right. For your pleasure, this year these are our swine exhibitors. Let's give them a nice hand before they even start. All of our acres have received A grades. And I'll give it to McLean and let her start us off.
Hi everyone, I'm McLean Nell. This is my 9th year in 4-H, and I'm a part of the Blandonsville Blue Ribbons.
Hi, my name is Carter Hogue. This is my 8th year in 4-H, and I'm part of the Scotland Clever Clovers.
Hi guys, my name is Peyton Groot. This is my 3rd year 4-H, and I'm part of the McDonough County Gold Diggers.
Hi, my name is Roma Dye. I've been in 4-H for 5 years, and I'm part of the Blandonsville.
Hello, my name is Hannah Brent. I've been in 4-H for 9 years, and I'm from the Bushel Disabilities Club.
Hi, my name is Aiden Brandt. I have been in 4-H for 9 years. I got Bushel Disabilities.
Hi, my name is Owen Torrance. I've been in 4-H for 8 years, and I'm a part of the Blandonsville Blue Ribbons.
Hello everyone, my name is Braden Counter. This is my 8th year in 4-H, and I'm part of the Smithfield Up and Coming 4-H Club.
Hi, my name is Braden Counter. I've been in 4-H for 4 years, and I'm part of the Smithfield Up and Coming.
My name is Bentley Preston. I've been in 4-H for 2 years, and I'm part of Sheffield Highlights.
Our young ladies are pretty, our men are handsome, but our exhibitors are beautiful because they are here and they are participating. Can you line up for a picture? Because if somebody wants to get a picture, like we said, gentlemen in the back, tall people in the back, ladies in the front, please. They could not do this without the support of so many people in the community. And if you know anybody that sponsors a trophy, please tell them thank you and tell them that they are appreciated. Thank you, 4-H'ers, for coming to the ring. And get ready for the barrel show. I want to thank Jared Hill again for coming down so early this morning from Ohio, Illinois. I looked it up on the atlas to see where that was. Ways. Jared is a graduate alumni of Western Illinois University, where he was a member of the WIU Hook and Horn Club and WIU Intercollegiate Livestock Judging Team. He has remained very active in agriculture after graduation. He deals with people in making production selections, including their seed, But I think most importantly, what we really need to be proud of him is he is an outstanding Yorkshire breeder in the United States. He has produced a lot of winners. He has worked with the young youth throughout the country. He's just all for agriculture and he is for the youth. And I know that his family is very active, and I know that they do play ball, so I hope they won. Good, good. So let's have a nice round of applause for Jared for coming down and placing our classes today. Thanks, Jared. Okay, we are ready for the first class of purebred barrows. And if you could start bringing them this way.
Our first class, the barrows will be a purebred Burt barrows. Eli Counter with his barrow weighing 169 pounds. A little bit about our 4-H clubs. The Blennesville Blue Ribbon meets the first Sunday of the month at 2 p.m. at Tri-County Seats in Scioto. Our club leader is Renee Welsh. The Scotland Cover Clovers meet the first Sunday of the month at 2 p.m. at the 4-H Center here in Macomb. And the contact for leader is Monica Torrance. The 4-H Gold Diggers meet the second Sunday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the Bristol Prairie City High School. Club leader is Michelle Sargent. Bushnell Busy Bees meet the third Sunday of the month at 5:30 p.m. at the Bushnell Methodist Church. The contact leader there is Dave and Holly Brent. Okay, we're ready for class 1, week 10, purebred Burt barrow, Eli Counter, weighing 169 pounds.
We're nothing if we're not efficient.
Satisfied at the end of the day, that's all that counts. You'll be happy.
As we transition into our barrow show, start off here, lightweight Berkshire barrows. Young man's got a Berkshire barrow, weighs about 170 pounds. To me, a really good barrow that has some indicators that can go up to those heavier weights and still maintain that level of quality that he possesses today. He's a barrow that's fresh and youthful in his appearance. He's a barrow that has got some production attributes about him in terms of having some rib shape and some body, a barrel that's sound and comfortable off of both ends of the skeleton. Good job to that young man.
Results of the class, first place, Eli Buchanan, and he is a member of the Smithfield Up and Coming 4-H Club. Our next class, 311, is a purebred Duroc barrow. Eli Buchanan, the barrow is weighing 174 pounds. Don't forget to visit, our concession stand, Squeeze to Please, Julie Hood. She'd sure appreciate your business.
This young man drives a Duroc barrel out in our next class, in the Duroc class, a barrel that, again, maybe opposite ends of the spectrum than his Berkshire barrel, but nonetheless a really high quality red barrel. A barrel that, to me, I think his better days are ahead of him in terms of his maturity. He's one that, to me, reads just a little bit greener and rawer in terms of his overall makeup, but a barrel that's extremely tall fronted, extremely extended, a barrel that has got a really good look about his front 1/3, a barrel that still opens up square in terms of his chest and knee, a barrel that as he drives away has some flexibility there from his hock to ground, a really nice barrel there in that Duroc.
Results of this class, first place, Eli Buchanan. Our next class, 312, purebred York barrel. Brayton Buchanan, his barrel is weighing 177 pounds.
This young man drives a really good Yorkshire barrel, one that, to me, I think proportions and blends extremely well. One that, to me, is right in terms of length of body, length of hip, and length of front. A barrel that combines that with some dimension and some spread there through the lower portion of his body. A barrel that, for 180 pounds or whatever it is, comes at you with a tremendous amount of chest and width from his blade down. One that's extremely comfortable in terms of the skeleton. Really nice Yorkshire barrel to win that class.
Results of this class, Brayton Buchanan, first place. Our next class, 313, our purebred York barrel, Peyton McGrew, her barrel weighing 208 pounds. She is a member of the Gold Diggers 4-H Club.
Young lady drives a Yorkshire barrel out that, I'll be the first to admit, when this barrel hits the ring, he's not the easiest barrel to read, just in terms of his makeup, but I think when you really start to break this one down, this barrel offers us a lot of positives in terms of production attributes. He's a heavy skeleton, heavy bone barrel that's got some rib and some body shape. He's extremely sound and flexible. A barrel that to me maybe gets a little plainer up through his front end, doesn't have that attractiveness that we see in some of those barrels. In those earlier classes, a barrel that to me maybe gets a little softer and is faster in that front as well, but a really good market hog there to win that class.
Results of the class, first place in an A rating, Peyton McGrew. We are now ready for class 314, Land and Duroc Barrows, Finley Hess, Owen Torrance. Finley's Barrow is weighing 222 pounds and Owen's is weighing 234 pounds.
Here in this pair of barrows, I think from the side when you evaluate this pair, they're a pair of barrows that look like purebred market hogs should look like from the side. They're barrows that got some extension, they're barrows that are sound and comfortable in terms of their movement off of both ends of their skeleton. I think to me the difference is when you get on top of these two, the Duroc barrow just gauge is wider at the top portion of the skeleton. He maintains that advantage of width and thickness out down his top and out through his hip. I think that's to me the deciding factor of the two, just a barrow that's got a lot more shape and expression and muscle about him. The young lady's white barrow that's going to be second, again, a really fault-free, problem-free kind of a barrow, one that's sound and flexible, a barrow that's very comfortable in his design, just doesn't have that added muscle advantage we see in our class winner.
First place goes to Owen Torrance, Blandesville Blue Ribbons member, and Finley Cass received a second placing, and she is with the Czech Row Volunteers 4-H Club. We are now ready for class 315, purebred Hereford barrow, Peyton Brent, barrow weighing 253 pounds.
Young man drives a Hereford barrow out here that could stand a lot of competition. I'll be the first to admit this Hereford barrow is pretty good. One that I think he checks all the boxes. He checks the market hog box, he checks the show barrow box as well. He's one that is really comfortable in his skeleton. He's really sound. He's really fault-free. He's a barrow that still opens up extremely wide in terms of when he comes at you, leaves you with that added advantage as it goes away. A barrow that when you get on top of him just has a tremendous amount of product laid in him as well. Really nice barrow to win this class.
Results of our class, first place with an A rating, Peyton Brent. We are now ready to pick our Division I champion, so we'll need our first place entry back in the ring. Out of class 310, Eli DeCounter. Out of class 311, Eli DeCounter. Out of class 312, Braden DeCounter. Out of class 313, Peyton McGrew. Out of class 314, Owen Torrance. And out of class 315, Peyton Brent.
As we get into our purebred barrow division, obviously we've got a few more numbers maybe than we had in our guild show, and we've got a little bit more variety as well. We've got barrows that maybe just cover different ends of the spectrum, and I think when you just get out here and start to break them down and study them for what they are, and start to put together the positives and negatives, and just find the ones that put the most together in terms of being correct, being functional, being sound, being good designed, good built, and still having some extras in terms of having some width, having some muscle, having some shape. To me, the one that puts that together in the best package, Hereford Barrow is going to be a champion.
Your champion in Division 1 is Katie Brent with your Hereford Barrow. She is the 4-H and Junior Show champion. As we get out here for reserve, I think it gets a little closer in my mind. I think there's a pair of barrows out here that kind of surface to the top for me, the Yorkshire Barrow here to my left and the Duroc Barrow to my right. And I think within that here, there's a lot of differences. One's a bigger skeleton, longer body kind of a barrow. One's a little bit more compact, but still really sound and functional. One that's really correct and proportional in terms of its design. I like the Yorkshire Barrow for reserve today. Great in our junior show. Now we're picking a reserve champion in our 4-H show.
You take it back to the barn.
Well, again, out here for reserve champion 4-H purebred barrow. This barrow that we talked about him in his class, one that, as he first came in, didn't hit you extremely hard, but the more studying, the more you break him down. the more he possesses a lot of good attributes in terms of being a high-quality purebred barrow, one that has got some extra bones, some extra density, one that's extremely comfortable off both ends of the skeleton. Again, like to fix him in a place here or there up front, but that's a really high-quality barrow to reserve 4-H today.
Your reserve champion Division I barrow, 4-H, is Peyton McGrew. We are now ready for our crossbred barrows, class 316. Brady McDonough and Peyton McGrew. Brady's barrow is weighing 160 pounds, and Peyton's barrow is weighing 170. Our trophy sponsor for our 4-H Barrow Division 2 is Deer Western Grain Services.
As we transition into our crossbred barrows, a really good pair here. Interesting pair to evaluate. A pair of barrows that offers a lot of quality, and they're barrows that I'd like to change. I'd like to change both of them out of their hip and their hind leg, and just kind of how they get out and rotate and go. And I think when when you identify that as your criteria and that type and that pair and start to sort through that, there's one that to me probably just offers us a little bit more in terms of width of chest, width of skeleton, a bear that got a little bit more turn and shape there through the center portion of his rib, and particularly when you get on top of this barrel, he just got more spread and mass up top. Young lady's going to win this class. She's going to be second. Nice pair of barrels to start off with today.
Results for our Class 316 crossbred barrels. First place and an A rating to Peyton McGrew. Second place to Brady King. We are now ready for Class 317 crossbred barrels. Simply Cass, her barrel is weighing 190 pounds. McLean Ignell, and her barrel is weighing 200 pounds. After this class, we will be ready to pick our Division II champion. Our Division II champion barrel trophy sponsor this year is Deer Western Grain Services. And Jake Patterson is here to hand out our trophy.
Pair of crossbred barrels in our second class. Pair of barrels that are very similar. Barrels that are really high quality barrels. So to me, there's one that is just a little bit more elevated, a little bit more extended up through his front end. One that just reads with a little bit more blade shape and expression. I just like that extension that he has. And the young ladies there in front of me to win this class. Just a really fault-free functional barrel. The young ladies barrel is second. Again, really sound, really complete. A really good barrel there. Just to me, didn't see that added elevation and extension that we saw in our class winner.
Results of Class 317. First place with an A rating, McLean Ignell. Second place, Finley Hess. We are now ready to have our first place bearers back in the ring. Out of Class 316 is Peyton McGrew. Out of Class 317 is McLean Ignell. This will be our Division II champion. Our trophy sponsor for our barrel for Division II is Deer Western Grain Services. And Jake is here to present that trophy. And I was informed today is his birthday. So happy birthday, boy.
We're bringing our two class winners back out for division. I think we got a pair of barrows that match up extremely good, and I think their barrows are very similar. To me, there's one that when you just get on top of this barrel, he's just got more. He's got more shape, he's got more mass, he's got more density to the center portion of his body. I like the young lady that wins the first class to be the champion.
Our Division II champion, CrossFit Barrel, is Peyton McGrew.
We're bringing our second place barrel out of class 1. Again, I think matches up extremely well with our other class winner. I guess for me, it just boils down to this one out here that's just got a little bit more. I really love this barrel's elevation. I love its extension up through his front 1/3 of that heavyweight. The second class winner is going to be reserved.
We are now ready for class 318, CrossFit Barrel. Brady Counter, his barrel is weighing 204 pounds, and Peyton McGrew with the barrel weighing 206.
After however many years I've been here, I'm good. Sure.
It's probably one of the more interesting pairs to sort through here today. I think in terms of quality, probably the best quality we've seen today. A pair of bears that are extremely sound, extremely comfortable, extremely flexible off of both ends of the skeleton. And I think for bears where you kind of sort through them. And you got one bear that is a nickel collar at the point of his shoulder. He's a little more extended up through his front 1/3. He's a little sharper about his look. Maybe he reads with just a little bit more distinct turn there to his loin edge. A bear that to me maybe gives up just a little bit in terms of feature compared to the other bear. The other bear is one that, again, sound, correct, functional, really proportional bear. A bear that to me reads with just a little bit more density all the way through his skeleton, one that opens up just a little bit wider there at the base of his skeleton, at the base of his lower rib, has that added dimension out through his hip. To me, it's close. You can talk them, you can flip them. I like the young ladies trying to win this class. Really good pair of bears.
Results of Class 318. First place was the Peyton McGrew. Second place, the Brady McDonough. We're all ready for Class 319. First place McLean Danielle with a bear weighing 207 pounds. Tina Bennett with a bear weighing 209 pounds. After leaving this class, we will be ready to pick our Division III champion. Our 4-H Bear Division III champion trophy is sponsored by Fairview Sale Barn. Compare Financial would like to invite the 4-H and their families out to the fair this evening from 5 to 7 for a complimentary supper or the premium auction. The meal will be sponsored by Computer and provided by Julie Hood, the owner of Food to Food. Julie will have the meal ready. Just let her know that you are part of the 4-H family and she will serve you up.
In this class, the crossbred bears, I think we got a pair of bears that if I could just fix these two maybe a little bit here or there and tweak them in a place or two, might change the outcome of this class. To me, there's one that's just a little bit better out of his hip and hind leg, and with that being said, I like to fix him as well. I like the young lady's belted bear. I think he's one that just is a little bit bigger in terms of type and kind. He's a little bit more extended. He's a little bit more extended up to his front 1/3 in particular. I think one that to me, when he goes away, just stays with inside himself a little bit better than our second place bear. The young lady's blue belted bear here is one that is a powerhouse in terms of width and mass. To me, when he goes away, he just gets a little too far outside of himself for me today. If we could fix him there, I think we could challenge that class winner a little bit more.
Results of Class 319. First place with an A rating, McLean Bell. Second place with an A rating, Hannah Brent. We are now ready for our Division III champion. Out of Class 318, Peyton McGrew. Out of Class 319, McLean Bell.
crossbred guys. We talked about that right there in class in terms of that Perry being really correct and really fundamentally correct. And I guess I really like that bear just in terms of his basic build and design, and still has some added mass and some added features. That black bear is going to be a champion.
So, yeah, you can go back. Thank you. Yes, because she was doing the show only. Yeah. Well, it's still junior.
Well, again, we bring that second place black bear out and talked about that pair being extremely good, extremely close. I guess that's the bear I like second best. It's going to be reserved.
Dan, bring him to back. He can leave. Now we're going to show for this will be real fun.
We bring this pair back out for 4-H, for champion and reserve 4-H honors, and I guess that pair in class is, I talked him the way I liked him there, and I still like him that way out here in this division. The Belgian bear is going to be your champion, and the blue bear is going to be reserved.
Okay, now then go back.
Okay, so the result, the district champion for our junior show champion was Peyton McGrew. Our junior show reserve was Brady Counter. Our 4-H champion was McLean Nell. And our reserve 4-H champion was Hannah Brent. We are now ready for class 320, crossbred bears. McLean Nell with a barrel weight 212 pounds. And Carter Hogue with a barrel weight 213 pounds.
Put me already. You look like coffee. What did I do wrong there?
another high-quality pair as we move into our heavier weights here in the crossbred division. I like the young man's barrow to win this drive. From the side, this barrow hits me extremely hard. He's taller fronted than our second place barrow. He's got more extension and got a neater look up here through his front end than that second place barrow. I think if you get on top of him, he reads with more shape and spread up high. He's one that he goes away, probably handles his hip and hind legs better than our second place barrow as well. Young lady's barrow in second place. Probably the heavier bone, bigger footed barrow of the pair. Just didn't think he handled his rear leg quite as well as that class winner. Maybe wants to get just a little bit more jammed up through his head and neck region in relation to our class winner as well, but a really good pair there in this division.
Results of class 320. First place with an A rating, Carter Hogue. Second place with an A rating, McLean Bell. We're now ready for class 321 crossbred barrows. Roma Bride, her barrow weighing 216 pounds. Carter Hogue with a barrow weighing 220 pounds. After this class, we will be ready to pick our Division 4 champion. Our Division 4 champion 4-H barrow trophy is sponsored by Western Grain Marketing, LLC.
Young man's got a barrow that's going to win this class as well. He's simply the one that's got the most of the pair. He's the one that opens up extremely wide as he comes at you, maintains that advantage as he goes away. A barrow that's just got a ton of product packed into him, one that still handles that product extremely well. Young lady's barrow that's going to be second, maybe one that's just a nickel bigger outline than our class winner. Again, just don't see that added bone and feature and mass that we see in that class winner. Nice pair.
Results of class 321. First place with an A rating, Carter Hogue. Second place with an A rating, Roma Bride. Roma is a member of the Blandesville Blue Ribbons, and Carter is a member of the Scotland Clever Clovers. We're now ready for our Division 4 champion. Out of class 320, in the first place, Carter Hogue in this drive, and out of class 321, Carter Hogue with his first place barrel also.
Here in our heavyweight division, two really good barrows. I guess for me, it comes down to one that just I like better just in terms of his presentation. He's one that just reads with more freshness or youthfulness. I think he's got a little bit crisper shape down his top. I think he balances up a little bit better just in terms of comfort, particularly out of his hip and hind leg. Young man's going to win this particular drive. out here for reserve. I think he gets a little closer, and both does, and maybe starting to fight the whip a little bit more than we'd like today. Taunt and Warren out here in the center part of the ring. I think you could talk this pair either way. I guess for me, there's one that I think his bone mass proportions better to his body type than the other. Young ladies, that's going to be reserved.
Out of Division 4 champion, Carter Cole, was out of the first class 320 is Lighter Barra, was champion. Second reserve was McLean McDonough, out also the first class. We are now ready for class 322 crossbred barrows. Carter Hogue with one entry weighing 265 pounds.
I can take the next class. He does.
As we get up here into our heavier weight barrows here, I think we got one that maybe starting to reach a little bit more past his prime, but and one that's a bigger skeleton, longer body kind of a barrow that's got a tremendous amount of shape in him. When you get on top of him, he's got a ditch blade in his back and still got a big hip and stifle in him. A barrow that's really sound and comfortable as well. Combines that extra shape and mass in a really correct skeleton. Congratulations to that young man.
Results of class 322. First place with an A rating, Carter Hogue. We're now ready for class 323, crossbred barrows. Hayden Brent with an entry weighing 272 pounds. At the end of this class, we will pick our Division 5 champion. Following the Division 5 champion, we will pick our grand champion barrow overall.
Again, we get up into these heavier weights, and we got one out here that packs a lot of punch and a really good skeleton. One that from the side, I really like this barrow. His elevation, his extension, his balance from the side. A barrow that when you get on top of it, you still got a lot of mass, a lot of spread. A barrow that as he goes away, he's wide and square. As he comes at you, he's wide and square. A barrow that's still useful while it's taking up. A barrow that's really sound, correct. functional proportion of a nice little mare to win this class.
Results of class 323, first place with a 3 rating, Hayden Brent. We are now ready to pick our Division 5 champion. Out of class 322, Carter Hogue. Out of class 323, Brady Brent. Hayden Brent.
Here for Division 5 champion, two bears that offer us a tremendous amount of good. Pair of bears that are sound, they're correct, they're functional. They've got a tremendous amount of product in them. And for bears that are getting a little more up there in terms of weight, they don't have a lot of problems starting to kind of surface to the top. So I think the good outweighs the bad in these pairs. And I guess for me, it's just personal preference. There's the one that to me reads with a little bit more look, just a little bit more balance from the side. Young man's black bear's going to be champion.
Our Division 5 champion was a Hayden Brent. Our trophy is donated by Bristol Locker. Reserve champion was a Carter Hogue. We are now ready for our grand champion bearer overall.
Yeah. Okay. Four. What number are you? 3?
Out of Division 1. We want to eat. Out of Division 2, Peyton McGrew. Out of Division 3, Peyton McGrew, where she is the champion junior show in the Peyton champion parade. Division 4, Carter Hogue. Division 5, Hayden Brent.
The real problem is when I paint and pop. Because I brought that yeah. I know. Two, actually. I had to work last night. I thought it would be overtime. Okay, I think we're ready.
Division I champion, Hayden Brent. Division II champion, Peyton McGrew. Division III champion, Peyton McGrew. Division IV champion, Carter Hay. Division V champion, Hayden Brent.
You do? I bet I can do it. But I'm not going to. Is that going to be good? What?
Let's put our hands together one more time for this group of young kids. I want to thank Vicki for asking me to come down this morning and sort through this set of pages. And I'll be the first one to admit, I probably don't like to step out in the ring as much as some people do. I'd rather be the guy out back trying to think about how to put them together and do those kind of things, is come out and sort through them and criticize them and do things like that. But the one thing I do value about this organization and things like 4-H and FFA is I think it lays the foundation and lays the fundamentals that gives us the life skills that we need to move forward. And I think that when you think that there's a big show going on in Louisville right now, and there's a lot of kids that miss their county fairs to go to shows like that, that's something I think we need to reconsider, because I think that there's a lot of basic tools that we take forward in life that come from this organization. And I know when things get tough in my life, I think back to my previous experiences in 4-H and FFA on the livestock judging team, and how it applies to my life today with not only business and family. I think those are tools that are crucial. I think they're tools that if we skip these organizations and go right to the top and go right to the, chasing the big banners, we can run into some trouble. and life down the road. So I appreciate what this industry's done for me. I appreciate what this organization does for our youth, and I guess we get out here for our champion drive, and to me, there's one that just kind of sets himself apart in terms of being extremely fresh, extremely youthful, extremely comfortable. The young man's off-topic crowd is going to be the champion. Out here for our reserve champion honors. To me, it maybe gets a little bit closer. There's a barrel out here, though, that I guess, I think just personal preference in terms of the kind that I like. One that's got some elevation, got some extension, really good from the profile. And then Class 5 champion's going to be reserved.
Everybody, good. Kylie.
Carter Hope will be our throwdown barrel representative. The reserve, Hayden will be the reserve for that. For some reason, the Carter can't go. Let's have a nice round of applause for Jared Poole for coming clear down and giving us his best alignment today, and we sure appreciate it. He can't leave yet because he's got to get us through showmanship.
We are now ready to start our showmanship. We need our intermediate showmanship shower.
I don't know the shit. No.
Thanks.
I'm just glad it was with me. I didn't have to try to figure that deal out.
You got showmanship, we're not done.
I'm done.
You're done.
And we have no little kid. I don't need to help again. They don't have to.
Last call for our intermediate showmanship class.
I just.
Our intermediate showmanship class will start shortly here. We have Kate McGrew who's going to participate in that. Our intermediate division is ages 11 to 13. We are going to start our intermediate showmanship. Our trophy is donated by Western Grain Marketing. And this is exhibitors that are 11 to 13.
We move into our showmanship division. The one nice thing about showmanship at the end of the day is all these kids have already auditioned for me throughout the day, and to me, showmanship boils down to personal preference, and there's things that I like as a judge that the next person may like differently, and I guess some of the things that I like is I prefer that distance to be further away than closer, because I like to see that side profile and silhouette of the hog. I like a presentation to be natural. I don't like when kids overuse the whip or the brush. So this young lady does a really good job of doing all those things really good. She's got a gilt that's she's sound and comfortable. That helps her showmanship, and at the same point in time, she does a good job of keeping that distance that I like. She does a good job of not overusing her whip or using her brush. I don't have a problem if you carry the brush in your hand versus in your pocket. I'd rather you have the brush in your hand than have a brush in your pocket that's falling out all the time. So those are just some things that I look for. Again, I'm not as critical on showmanship as some people, because I think that it's more about a relationship between the individual and the pig, and just personal preference, in my opinion, as a judge. So congratulations to this young lady on being champion intermediate showman.
The intermediate 4-H swine showmanship went to Peyton McGrew. We are ready for our senior showmanship. In the senior division, it is age 14 and over, or if you are a prior winner in the intermediate division. In order to participate in our showmanship class, you must be a participant, must be currently enrolled and a member of the McDonough County 4-H in the Swine Project area and exhibited in a 4-H swine class. This is our senior division. Our senior swine showmanship trophy, our sponsor is No Place Like Home. Presenting in place of No Place Like Home or for them is Keith Heaton and his son, John.
Here for champion senior showman, a lot like our intermediate showman. Young lady that does a really good job. I know she has a lot of experience in the ring, and you can tell that Rivera spent a lot of time in the ring as well. And I think that's the key to showmanship, is having that trust and that relationship between your animal and yourself. And some days you have better days than others. And this young lady does a good job. I know it's the end of the day, it's getting hot. Farrell's getting a little cantankerous on her as well, but she does a good job of doing the things that I like. She just has a slow, steady pace. She keeps a nice distance between myself and the animal. And I think those are the little things that, for me, set stage for a good showman. So congratulations to her.
Our senior Our next division is the advanced swine showmanship. And in the advanced is previous winners of the senior division. We have 3 participants this year: Hayden Brent, McLean Adele, and Carter Hogue. We've got 2, Hayden and McLean. Our advanced swine showmanship trophy is sponsored by Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bristol.
I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the least favorite part of my day in terms of making the decision, particularly when you get up to these older showmen. And I think that these two showmen are very similar in terms of how they show and drive their animal. And I think, you know, they're both a little more aggressive with the whip than some of the other exhibitors we've seen, but I think that that's okay when they're both doing it in the same capacity. And I think it gets close, and I guess for me it's just personal preference. And I know on any given day that either one of these two can trade paint, and the other one could win the next day. So again, I think it's just personal preference. One that for me just maybe kept a little better distance than the other one. I like the young lady to be champion, but again, that's just personal preference. Congratulations.
The Advanced Swine Showmanship goes to McLean Canal. Our trophy is donated by Farmers and Merchant State Bank of Bushland. Can we get a round of applause for our guest today? He's done a wonderful job. Glad to have him here. We're getting ready to start the master showmanship for the swine division.
Good morning, everybody. We are doing something a little different this year. If you remember back in 2019 when we were last together, we had the Master Showmanship contest as an event on its own during our fair week. So this year, in 2021, we're seeing a little different. We're doing things a little different in that we are holding the Master Showmanship contest at the end of each of the species. So this morning is swine, and then on Thursday morning we will have the Master Showmanship contest for beef, where we will also be announcing the winners. The Master Showmanship contest, if you have never been to the state fair, it is quite the sight to see. Every county in Illinois is eligible to send a representative for their county to the state fair Master Showmanship contest. This year, it will be held Friday, August 13th at 7:30 p.m. on the state fairgrounds. It is amazing. We have young 4-Hers showcasing their skills, showing swine, sheep, and beef, for the opportunity to win a division champion and then also an overall. And I would suggest that if you are free on August 13th at 7:30 p.m. to go and see it. It is amazing. And we are super excited for our two 4-Hers today that are competing for the opportunity to represent McDonough County at the State Fair Master Showmanship Contest. And also a side note, we will not be announcing the winner for the Swine Master Showmanship contest this morning. We will do all the announcements for division winner and then our overall winner at the conclusion of the beef show on Thursday morning.
Fill it out very good. Can't read much.
Thank you.
Our exhibitors that are competing for master showmanship in swine is Anna Curley of the 4-H Gold Diggers and Carter Hogue of Scotland Cover Colors.
Exhibitors, you are free to go after the show is over. Be sure to go over to the 4-H or to the junior show office and pick up your check and cash your check within 30 days at the most. Cash your check right away. But pick it up the day before you leave. And thank you again for coming, everyone. We appreciate it.
here for our master showmanship contestants. I was asked not to announce my winner. I just want to make some general comments about this pair of individuals. I think we've got two kids out here that the future's pretty bright for agriculture here in Illinois and the Midwest with kids like this. And you know, young lady just to me has a passion for livestock and a passion for agriculture, and you know, she is at a distinct disadvantage of not number one, not showing pigs, but number two, not being comfortable and having that relationship with that animal like the young man does. So whenever you kids make it to Springfield to master showmanship and you know, whatever species you're least comfortable with and the animal that you'll find to use, I would encourage you going to spend a little time with that exhibitor and that maybe not just the exhibitor but the animal as well, to try to get to know that animal's personality, know what they like and what they don't like. But again, just my hats off to these two for their passion for not only agriculture but for youth and being leaders within the respective age groups. So congratulations to these two. Best of luck down the road.